Why don't you just walk us out of here? Vhagar asked. Because the roof of the cave fell over the entrance and there is 1,000 tons of granite between us and freedom, Master responded. Master, please look at the cave walls again, through my eyes, Syrax asked. Master lifted his gaze and looked around again. Wait, move back a bit. Syrax stopped him. Do you see that shimmering? The part that looks like it is out of focus? Yes! Ormur, does that not look like a weak spot in the membrane? Yes, it does, Ormur agreed. But if you are suggesting what I think you are, there is no way Master will survive the void. What's the void? Master asked. Simply put, Ormur explained, the void is the space between worlds. But it is not an ordinary space. It is a hostile, pressurized high-velocity no-man's land filled with non-baryonic dark matter. It's a pressurized jet of atomic chaos, Syrax added. Your human nervous system is a crude copper wire. If you step in there as you are, you'll be reduced to a fine carbon glaze on the cavern walls. A very artistic end, mind you, but highly inconvenient for our survival. Then we do not fight the current, nor do we run from it, we use it to our advantage, Kiyo says softly. She speaks in a warm, magnetic tone that instantly disarms the rising tension in the room. Her posture projects the effortless charm of a high society diplomat. We negotiate with it. We dress for the room we wish to enter. Kiyo looks at Master with an engaging smile, her calculating mind reading his thoughts. You have things in your pack, Master. Is there something we can work with? I have my oilskin raincoat, steel water bottle, canvas first aid kit and my journal. The inner lining of our travel pods was designed by our ancestors to insulate a developing soul from the void shriek. It is a perfect, non-conductive boundary. If we weave those shards into that rugged oilskin coat of yours, we can create a shield. A velvet glove to handle the raw energy, Kiyo suggested. The geometry supports her logic, Ormur spoke up, his quiet, heavy voice shifting the room into silence. The scholar is staring at an invisible blueprint drifting in the air, his mind completely absorbed by the mathematical spin of the dark matter particles. Like Vhagar, he is in a deep, single-minded trance. An unshielded human transit across the quantum stasis line creates a total systemic paradox. But if we organize the structure... Ormur's eyes flash as he maps out the design in Master's mind. If we arrange the fabric of the oilskin coat in a layered Cosmic Mantle, the overlapping folds will act as magnetic exit valves. If Syrax's fasten energy ups across you, the valves will safely dissipate the ionic heat into the surrounding dark matter mesh. We are not blocking the universe, we are engineering a pathway through it. And my modular hiking staff? Master asks, could we not also use it as a steering mechanism or a stabilizing anchor? I had it custom-made. He draws out the hidden blade. This is a bespoke tungsten steel blade. It is a beauty, interrupted Vhagar. Isn't she? Master agreed. I also have in these modular units, fire starters, fishing equipment, a fishing spear and paracord. We forged the external shells of the pods into the hollow staff to create a focal point, Ormur explained excitedly. Slide your blade into this adapted center and it creates a ferrous core. By shifting the blade, you can mechanically alter the center of gravity to match the resonance of the cleft. Cap the head with the heads of the pods that came loose. They are best for navigation and will act as a sensor, allowing you to taste the atmospheric density of the world on the other side before you step through. It requires a forge, Vhagar notes, a sudden spark of joy flashing in his eyes at the prospect of doing something challenging. The shell material is high tension. To bend it into a spear tip and the core blade requires an immense, focused strike. I will provide the tactical focus to endure the physical toll. Each strike will rattle your teeth, Master. Are you ready for it? And I will supply the spark, Syrax sighs dramatically, though her dry wit returns. I'll channel the raw energy to melt the shards down, provided you don't mind your consciousness smelling like bird hair for 48 hours. Master took a deep breath. Guided by Ormur, he dismantled the shells with his Leatherman. Syrax and Vhagar added a mix of physical and atomic power. He spread the inner membrane of the pods on the inner and outer sides of his oilskin coat. It felt wet and soggy, and he draped it over a stalagmite to let it dry out. He then turned his attention to the staff. It was a challenge to get the pod's shells into the inner tubing. He could not break pieces small enough to fit. In the end, they decided to sear the pieces onto the outside of the staff. The downside of this was that he lost most of the modular pieces. This compromise was acceptable as he packed the fire-starting kit and fishing equipment into his backpack. He took care not to seal shut the sword cane and the fishing spear part. The spear point he strengthened with some of the hard inner pieces of the pods that would allow him to separate the membranes between the universe's containment bubble and the void. The leftover pieces of the pods, the extra inner membrane and pieces of pod shells, he worked into the seams of his raincoat. Ormur explained that this would help stabilize the transit between worlds. When everything was finished, Master noticed how dry his mouth was. His tongue felt swollen, and his lips cracked. He needed water soon. He was so focused on the task at hand that he lost track of time and the signals his body was sending him. The focused attention and the use of both Syrax, Vhagar and Ormur's energy left him depleted. He also noticed that their humanoid images became more translucent, a sign that their energies were used. He made a mental note of this. The only one that did not fade was Kiyo, but she looked concerned. "It looks like something is bothering you, Kiyo," he said, seated with his back to a stalagmite, his hands drooping over his drawn-up knees. "While you were working, I sensed a cold ripple in the background hum of the multiverse. I hope it is nothing, but we should be cautious." "Yes," Ormur agreed, "the void does not like foreign elements in it. It has something similar to your immune system and tries to neutralize everything that does not belong in the void." "I sense something else," Kiyo responded with a slight frown. "I would like to know how I am going to move and steer in the void," Master asked. "Theoretically, you will be propelled forward by the magnetic force we created in your coat, and the staff positioning would be the steering. Practically, we need to be in the void to know what will actually happen." "That's not really reassuring," Master responded, "but let's do this thing." He got up, put his backpack on, and pulled on his remade coat, picked up the new staff and walked to the weak spot in the membrane. Master pressed the high-tension sidewind pod shell spear tip of his newly forged staff against the thinnest point in the cavern's reality. His fingers, cramped and cold, gripped the canvas seams of his upgraded cloak. "Apply steady pressure, Master," Ormur commands, his presence acting as a grounding mathematical grid in Master's mind. "Do not force the blade. We are not piercing stone, we are parting layers of frequency." Master leaned his weight into the staff. The friction between the meteoric iron core at the pole and the dark matter membrane created a sharp, violet spark. The air tasted instantly of heavy ozone and ancient gold, with a sound like heavy silk tearing open the fabric of his world splits. He stepped through the fissure. The cave vanishes. Master falls into the absolute expanse of the void. There is no up or down. The substance of the void is not empty space. It is a dense, high-pressure medium that feels like a thick, salty soup of unformed physics. Visually, it is a shifting obsidian canvas crisscrossed by blinding rivers of white fast energy, the plumbing of the multiverse. The physical toll hits him immediately, triggering a violent wave of vertigo. His human senses cannot process the landscape. His vision fragments into raw mathematical shadow matter, and his limbs feel incredibly heavy, as if his muscles are turning to solid lead. "Stand up in your mind, Master." Vhagar's voice cuts through the disorientation, short and precise. "The kinetic pressure is rising. Match the flow. Do not let the current drag your shoulders down." Master chokes on air that feels as thick as water, his heart hammering a frantic rhythm against his ribs. In his mind, a vivid memory anchors him, his mother Elpis scrubbing a cold floor with the posture of a monarch, her voice steady in his ears. "You are stronger than you think you are, Master. Trust your body. It listens to inner power, greater than your mind." He locks his jaw. He coordinates his breathing. He forces his leaden hands to lift the modular staff. The mantle is venting beautifully, Ormur reports calmly, analyzing the structural efficiency of the cloak. The layered coachman's valves are open. The overlapping canvas folds are safely channeling the immense ionic heat away from your nervous system and dumping it into the background mesh. I'm steering the boundary currents, Kiyo adds, her warm, magnetic presence smoothing the terrifying friction of the transition. Keep your posture forward, Master. Look for the beacon. Through Syrax's eyes, Master scans the vast, dark matter soup. A normal human would be entirely blind here, but the biological handshake allows him to see the energetic skeleton of the multiverse. Far in the distance, cutting through the shifting violet auroras, he spots a steady pulse of localized gravity. It looks like a small, spinning amber knot in the shimmering spiderweb of reality. There, Syrax murmurs with a sharp, dry wit. Our next port of call. It looks slightly unrefined, but it beats floating in the cosmic plumbing forever. Set your staff's trajectory, Master. Master slides the internal tempered steel blade of his staff forward. The mechanical shift changes the pole's center of gravity, tuning the ferrous core to match the resonance of the amber beacon. The staff pulls him forward, sighting through the heavy dark matter currents like an anchor line pulling a boat. The steady rhythm breaks. A violent, icy tremor ripples through the dark matter matrix, causing the shimmering grid to twist and buckle. Friction! Vhagar snaps, his tactical focus instantly spiking. An apex velocity is approaching from the rear quadrant. The background hum of the void turns into a terrifying, deep roar. The white rivers of vast energy turn a violent, angry crimson. High above them, the fabric of the void bulges inward, as if a massive weight is pressing down on a taut sheet. The tracking flare, Kiyo's diplomatic warmth vanishes, replaced by dead seriousness. He found the resonance of our broken shells. It's Malakor, Syrax states. Her signature wicked humor is completely gone, leaving only the cold, ancient anger that vibrates right behind Master's retinas. Our dear cousin has deployed his hounds into the void sweep. He is tearing through the frequency layers to block our path. A massive, shadowy silhouette begins to form within the crimson bulge. An arrogant, predatory presence of immense density, reaching out with tendrils of raw, destructive force to collapse the pathway toward the amber beacon. He is calculating our intercept point, Ormur states, his mental voice accelerating. If we maintain this current velocity, his kinetic trajectory collapses our path in 12 seconds. Then we stop running, Vhagar commands, an absolute spark of martial joy flashing through the collective mind. Master, drop the center of gravity. We turn into the friction. Let me light the fuse, Syrax growls. Master does not hesitate. Guided by Vhagar's spatial mastery, he twists the handle of the staff, locking the ferrous blade into a full, rigid extension. He pulls the mantle of the migration cloak tight around his chest. Syrax unleashes a massive spike of high-frequency energy directly into the staff's core. The capped HL fragment at the spear tip flares with a blinding violet light, acting as a high-powered lens. Master rides the kinetic recoil. Instead of fighting the pressure wave of Malakor's approach, he uses the staff to harvest the incoming momentum, converting the enemy's destructive force into raw, forward velocity. The staff rockets him across the remaining expanse of the void, turning him into a streak of violet light. Malakor's tendrils of force snap shut on empty space, sending a furious shockwave through the dark matter mesh behind them. Master reaches the amber beacon. The capped spear tip of his staff slams into the thin membrane of the target reality. The friction creates a silent, mini-aurora solar flare distortion that tears open a new cleft. The high-pressure soup of the void vanishes. Master crashes hard onto a solid surface, the physical impact rattling his teeth as he experiences the heavy, leaden crash of re-entry. He lies flat on his back, gasping for thin, unfamiliar air under a strange sky, his fingers still white-knuckled around his staff. He sits up. Around him, an ancient, surreal salt and clay pan spreads out. He turns around. The dim light of dawn shows towering apricot-orange dunes. He turns back. The landscape features a white cracked earth floor that runs into a mountain range. Just my luck to escape from dying from thirst in a cave to a desert world, he mutters. It looks like there is a settlement at the base of those mountains, Vhagar pointed out. Master tries to stand up but is totally depleted. He feels weak and tired to his bones. It is the void that taxed you so, Kiyo explained. That and a massive amount of energy spent to create the tools to jump, Ormur added. Here brother, lean on me, Vhagar said. I have some energy left. Brother? Don't make it weird. Master stumbled towards the settlement. The sun rose behind him. As the tents started to distinguish themselves from each other, someone noticed him and cried out, pointing. Before the blackness took him, he saw 3 figures running, or rather galloping towards him.